Circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself. In this video, we're going to talk about how to see someone's true character. According to Stoicism, all you have to do is observe 5 essential aspects. Have you ever wondered how well you really know the people around you, or even yourself today? We'll explore 5 fundamental, simple yet incredibly impactful observations that can unveil a person's true character. And yes, these principles are timeless, which is why they remain just as relevant today as they were in the past. So settle in and get ready to rethink what it truly means to understand someone. These 5 timeless principles will not only transform how you view others, but will also challenge you to live with greater clarity and wisdom. Before we start, I ask that you remember to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It really helps us out and it costs you nothing. Let's go. Number 1. How we treat those who can't help us. Uncovering the true character of an individual has long been a source of fascination and contemplation, both in philosophy and everyday life. One of the most revealing ways to understand a person's inner values is to observe how they treat those who have no power over them or offer no immediate benefit. This principle is central to Stoic philosophy, with Seneca advising, "Treat your inferior as you would like your superior to treat you." These interactions pull off the masks we often wear to impress others, exposing whether our kindness is genuine or just a strategic resource. In a world increasingly shaped by mutual interests, this perspective offers a timeless method for evaluating not only others but also ourselves. At the core of this concept is the way people interact with attendants, subordinates or strangers. A sincere smile, a heartfelt thank you, or a simple gesture of acknowledgement to someone who delivers a meal or rings up groceries might seem trivial, but it carries enormous weight. Such small acts reflect respect for the shared humanity we all possess. When someone holds the door for a stranger or offers help to a person carrying multiple bags, it demonstrates compassion and altruism that go beyond mere social conventions. In contrast, those who ignore such people or show irritation or indifference reveal something deeper about their character, rooted in arrogance, a sense of superiority, or a lack of empathy. There are also casual everyday encounters that function as subtle, yet powerful character tests. Imagine someone walking quickly down a crowded street who is bumped into by an elderly person. A compassionate reaction might be a reassuring smile or, "And it's all right," while an impatient person might respond with irritation or even aggression. Thus, with thoughtfulness regardless of the motivation, we need to reflect on the impact of experiences like these, so you don't get fussy. These unplanned inconveniences provide an authentic glimpse into how a person truly sees others. Do they assume ill intent or prefer to give the benefit of the doubt? That's where modern Stoicism offers a valuable framework, reminding us that we cannot control what happens, but we can always control how we respond. These reactions reflect the values that drive our behavior and our ability to live in harmony with those around us. Living in harmony with those around us means accepting discomfort and patiently waiting. Burdens life throws at us need to be managed with compassion, resiliency, and hope. Another revealing dimension is to observe how someone deals with vulnerable groups, such as homeless people or marginalized communities. Stopping to offer some spare change, a friendly greeting, or even a moment of attention requires little effort, but demonstrates a deep sense of humanity. Ignoring or scorning these people, on the other hand, signals a disconnect from the struggles we all share in life. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What harms the hive also harms the bee." The Stoic understanding of our interconnection suggests that when we fail to respect and uplift others, we also harm ourselves. Showing kindness in these situations not only benefits the receiver, but it also reinforces the moral integrity of the giver. These small, consistent acts of benevolence have a ripple effect. While grand gestures often receive the loudest applause, it's the quiet and almost invisible moments of humanity that build trust, inspire others, and reflect a person's genuine moral fiber. Those who treat others with dignity, regardless of social or economic standing, embody the core virtues of modern Stoicism. They act this way not for recognition or reward, but because they believe in the inherent value of every person. This quiet consistency reflects inner values, rather than external circumstances. Like a steady flame, kindness lights up not just the individual's character, but also the lives of those they touch. In today's fast-pacing and often self-centered world, these principles matter more than ever. helping a janitor clean up a spill, or stopping to listen to a stranger in distress might not earn public applause, but it reveals authentic moral character. As Epictetus reminds us, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it in that sense. Practicing kindness isn't about showing off, but about living in alignment with your values. Cultivating this awareness in ourselves requires ongoing reflection and effort. How do we treat those who can't offer us anything in return? Are we polite and attentive to service staff, patient with others when inconveniences arise, and supportive of those in need? These questions are not merely rhetorical. They push us to examine our behavior and align it with our principles. Modern Stoicism highlights the importance of focusing on what we can control, our actions, words, and attitudes, and letting go of any desire for external validation. By treating others with dignity and kindness, we gain not only a good reputation, but also the inner peace of knowing we've done the right thing. The lesson here is universal and timeless. The way a person treats someone who can neither help nor harm them is the best measure of their character. This principle holds true both in the workplace and in personal life. Consider a leader who consistently respects employees, listens to everyone's concerns, and maintains a positive environment even when no one is watching. It's not just about judging others, but also about using these observations as a guide for our own improvement. By striving to treat everyone with fairness and respect, we become role models in our own sphere, demonstrating the kind of character that Seneca and Marcus Aurelius esteemed. As modern Stoicism teaches, the pursuit of virtue is a lifelong journey, marked by daily choices we make in our interactions with others. Those choices, however small, define our legacy. By embracing these teachings, we create a positive chain reaction that extends beyond each individual encounter. Constantly practicing kindness, empathy, and respect contributes to a more harmonious world. True character, after all, isn't about what we say, it's about what we do when no one's watching. Through these actions, we discover meaning and purpose, not only in our own lives, but in the broader fabric of humanity. Such is the enduring wisdom of Stoicism, offering a guide not just for evaluating others, but for living with integrity, compassion, and resilience. End of section 45. Number 2, how we handle small inconveniences. How we react to the daily minor inconveniences, those routine irritations like slow traffic, misplaced items, or a late coffee order, reveals a great deal about our true character. Often viewed as trivial, these moments are significant because they expose our emotional resilience and self-control. As Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. This timeless Stoic principle acts like a mirror for our instincts, providing genuine glimpses of who we are when minor disturbances arise. In many ways, these small hiccups test our capacity for patience, adaptability, and understanding. Pillars of modern Stoicism, our most spontaneous reactions to everyday annoyances, usually happen without much thought. And precisely because of this, they show our authentic selves. Consider someone whose plate arrives slightly cold at a restaurant. Some might take out their frustration on the waiter, while others calmly ask for a solution. The difference is striking. In the first instance, self-regulation is lacking. In the second, we see a thoughtful attitude. Situations like being stuck in traffic jams also serve as clear examples. While some people haunt non-stop spreading tension, others take the chance to listen to an informative podcast, meditate, or simply practice acceptance. These examples demonstrate that responding effectively today challenges can matter more than grand displays of composure in planned situations. When it's easier to maintain a facade of calm in the workplace, the skill becomes even more crucial. Imagine a technical glitch or a delayed email. The person who reacts with frustration or anger tends to heighten stress, whereas someone who pauses to think of practical solutions not only solves the problem faster, but also fosters a spirit of cooperation. These behaviors have a ripple effect on organizational culture and interpersonal relationships. Staying calm reinforces the Stoic idea that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. As Marcus Aurelius said, what's so valuable about these moments is that they present growth opportunities. Facing small adversities with lightness and wisdom shows a capacity for adaptation, an essential quality for resilience. Those who smile when they get the wrong coffee order and still thank the barista demonstrate inner peace and clarity, choosing to value their emotional well-being over temporary annoyances. This behavior is a sign of maturity and emotional intelligence, foundations of Stoicism in practice. Conversely, handling small frustrations poorly creates negative chain reactions. Someone who erupts in anger over slow internet can end up ruining everyone else's mood. Such impulsive reactions suggest difficulty controlling one's emotions, undermine relationships, and increase personal stress. Moreover, trivial issues can get blown out of proportion, pushing us further from the serenity Stoics so highly prized. Seneca's advice fits perfectly here. Man is as unhappy as he has convinced himself he is. Brooding over annoyances amplifies their impact, while choosing to move past them lessens their hold on us. Small inconveniences are not just obstacles, but mirrors reflecting our inner world. They show whether we handle life's unpredictability with grace, or if we bring discord into our daily interactions. Facing these situations with patience, positivity, and emotional control doesn't just help maintain our own serenity. It also creates a more harmonious environment for everyone around us. When we choose calm over chaos, we inspire others to do the same, embodying the Stoic ideal of being a safe harbor in daily storms. Practiced consistently, this strength of character transforms not only ourselves, but also our communities, reminding us that modern Stoic principles are timeless tools for coping with both major trials and everyday matters. Number 3. Time and commitment. One of the most profound ways to reveal someone's true character is to observe how they handle our most precious resource, time. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely noted, "We are very careful with our possessions and money, yet we let our time be stolen without a second thought." This reflection brings out a truth that resonates across the ages. The way we manage our time discloses our priorities, our values, and our level of discipline. If you watch how someone relates to their commitments and schedules, you'll begin to see a complex map of their core values. Punctuality, for example, is a simple yet powerful indicator. When someone always arrives at the agreed time, they send a clear message. They value their commitments and respect others' time. Compare that with someone who is chronically late. Continual tardiness might seem minor, but it often points to deeper issues like disorganization, lack of self-awareness, or even an inflated sense of self-importance. Imagine someone who repeatedly arrives late to events or important meetings, inconveniencing others. Their actions quietly say, "My time is more valuable than yours." Would you trust such a person? Stoicism teaches us to judge people not by their words, but by their actions, and how we manage our time is one of those actions that cannot be ignored. Stoicism teaches us to tell the truth when it damages their time, not when. Another telling point is how someone handles commitments, especially under pressure. Think of a colleague or friend who always meets deadlines, even when things get tough. Their reliability reflects discipline and builds trust. Compare that to someone who constantly makes promises they don't keep, disrupting projects and eroding their own credibility. In Stoic terms, keeping your word shows integrity and respect for others. 2 pillars of solid character. How a person spends their free time is also a window to their soul. Imagine someone who devotes weekends to volunteer work, quality time with family, or personal development activities. Now think of another person who spends the same hours endlessly scrolling through social media, binge-watching series with no discernment, or staying busy with trivial distractions. While leisure and rest are essential, overindulging in empty amusements can signal a lack of direction or purpose. Stoicism reminds us to use our time wisely, seeing it as a gift not to be squandered. What do your own habits say about your priorities? How might you adjust them to align more closely with your values? Managing time is not just about self-discipline, but also a sign of empathy. Someone who respects other people's time demonstrates thoughtfulness and fairness. Picture a professional who shows up prepared for meetings, sticks to the agenda, and avoids delays or filler discussions. Their actions show a clear understanding of the collective effort needed to make things run smoothly. Conversely, someone who wastes other people's time by being unprepared or irresponsible reveals a lack of consideration for everyone's efforts. How do you balance your own needs with those of others? When it comes to time, flexibility is crucial as well. Life is unpredictable, and even the best laid plans can go awry. This is where the Stoic secret of adaptability comes in. A person's reaction to unexpected events says a lot. Those who handle last-minute changes calmly and patiently reveal emotional resilience and a balanced mindset. Those who become unhinged at the first hint of a problem show a struggle with life's inevitable uncertainties. Imagine two friends planning a trip. If the itinerary fails, one friend calmly proposes alternatives, while the other gets upset or discouraged. Which one would you rather rely on? Stoicism teaches us to accept what we can't control, while acting wisely within the sphere of what we can. Observing how someone relates to time is like peering through a window into their character. Does this person prioritize what truly matters? Are they dependable, considerate, and adaptable? Time, as the Stoics reminders, is a finite resource once spent. It can't be reclaimed. Those who manage it responsibly demonstrate maturity, as well as profound respect for life and for the people around them. Ask yourself, how do you treat your time? And what does that say about you? By mastering this Stoic secret, you not only better understand others, but also refine your own way of living, aligning it more closely with your highest values. After all, as Seneca said, it's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. How will you choose to spend the time you have left? Which of these aspects do you think best reveals someone's true personality? How they treat people who can't help them, how they deal with small inconveniences, how they value time and commitment. Share your opinion and don't go yet, because there's a surprising insight at the end. Number 4, how we behave when no one is watching. Person's true character becomes most evident in moments when they believe no one is observing, a notion deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. Zeno Obsidian, founder of Stoicism, emphasized that living in harmony with nature and reason demands unwavering consistency, regardless of external surveillance. This principle points out that integrity is not defined by what we do when there are rewards or punishments at stake, but by the actions we take when there appear to be no consequences. For instance, a seemingly mundane act, like returning a shopping cart to the correct place in a grocery store parking lot, can serve as a test of responsibility. Someone who puts the cart back properly, even in the rain or while in a rush, shows respect for shared spaces and upholds principles over convenience. Meanwhile, abandoning the cart anywhere shows indifference to the common good, prioritizing personal comfort over a shared responsibility. Public spaces often become stages where character unconsciously emerges. Think about places like cafeterias, parks, or other communal areas. Someone who cleans up their own mess, unprompted and without seeking praise, demonstrates an awareness of their role in maintaining order and mutual respect. That small act of tidying up sends a message that everyone should do their part in caring for shared spaces. Ignoring that duty reveals a lack of consideration for others and disregard for an unspoken social contract. Similarly, caring for shared resources, such as replacing coffee that has run out in the break room or disposing of trash in the correct bin, shows sensitivity to how our actions or omissions impact the group. Honesty in unwatched situations may be the purest expression of integrity. When someone finds a wallet or a valuable item and chooses to return it or report it, instead of taking advantage, they act according to a moral code that transcends immediate self-gain. This choice echoes Epictetus's reflection. It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. By choosing honesty in circumstances where dishonesty would go unnoticed, the person demonstrates a commitment to virtue. On the other hand, giving in to dishonesty when there are no visible consequences reveals a readiness to sacrifice ethics for fleeting gain, eroding the trust upon which character is built. The workplace also abounds with examples of our actions. Away from watchful eyes, an employee who meets deadlines, acknowledges teamwork, and maintains high standards even when the boss isn't around, shows self-discipline and respect. Their conduct aligns with the Stoic principle of focusing on what's within our control, effort, diligence, and respect for coworkers. Meanwhile, those who take advantage of lack supervision to neglect tasks or claim credit for others' work demonstrate a lack of internal motivation and integrity. In the end, they damage mutual trust by showing themselves to be unreliable. Small acts of altruism done without expecting recognition also speak volumes about our nature. Donating anonymously, standing up for someone who's being wronged, or helping a stranger without publicizing it are all examples of an intrinsic commitment to virtue. These behaviors align with Marcus Aurelius's maxim that the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. It's a reminder that virtue is its own greatest reward, even if no one else ever knows or applauds. Quiet acts of compassion indicate that a person's moral compass does not depend on external validation, but on a firm belief in doing good. The choices we make in private profoundly shape who we become in public. Habits formed in solitude, whether acts of kindness, responsibility, or honesty, build the foundation for how we'll face larger life challenges. Marcus Aurelius' famous line, "What we do now echoes in eternity," reminds us that every decision, no matter how small or unnoticed, contributes to the legacy of our character. Noticing how people behave when they think no one is watching reveals their deepest priorities and values. These examples invite us to reflect on our own hidden acts, challenging us to align our private conduct with our public principles. In an era where social media and cameras have turned everything into a kind of stage, the idea of invisible integrity takes on even greater importance. Modern Stoicism teaches us that our worth is not defined by likes, followers, or accolades, but by our ability to stay true to our principles, even without an audience, placing the shopping cart back, cleaning up after ourselves, honoring commitments in secret. These may seem small in the grand scheme of life, but each choice builds our character. They remind us that the foundation of integrity lies in the most personal, discreet decisions, preparing the groundwork for a life guided by virtue. Embracing that awareness transforms how we engage with the world. Instead of seeking external validation, we focus on living in line with our values, taking satisfaction and knowing we acted rightly, even when no one was looking. By striving for consistency between our private deeds and our public persona, we embody the essence of integrity, setting an example for others and boosting our self-esteem. This harmony, as modern Stoicism shows, is at the heart of a meaningful and virtuous life, in which our attitudes affect not just the present moment, but leave a lasting impact on ourselves and the world around us. In number 5, how we handle power. Power in all its forms is one of the most revealing tests of character, because it acts like a mirror reflecting an individual's values, maturity, and sense of responsibility. The Stoics recognize that power magnifies a person's real nature, exposing both their virtues and their flaws. Whether it's the authority of a team leader, the influence exercised in personal relationships, or the ability to deal with privileged information, the way someone handles power says a lot about their inner strength. Strong men are completely aware of their limitations, and they embrace those with gratitude. Marcus Aurelius himself, an emperor, illustrated this point by writing, "A man's worth is measured by the goals he pursues." When power is rooted in virtue, it not only elevates the individual, but also benefits those around him or her, fostering trust, cooperation, and mutual respect. Those who wield power with humility and a spirit of service embody the highest form of leadership. Consider, for example, a newly appointed team leader. If they prioritize the common good, communicate with the team, recognize each person's strength, and address obstacles fairly, they create an empowering environment. As a result, they gain trust and build a culture in which everyone feels valued and motivated. Modern Stoicism teaches us to see leadership not as domination, but as service and opportunity to uplift others and promote harmony. Service to enhance health, happiness, and service. And firstly, those who abuse power by belittling colleagues, withholding resources, or controlling situations unnecessarily reveal insecurity, masters authority. Such individuals often confuse power with superiority, placing personal gain above collective well-being. Their actions sow discord, undermine credibility, and damage relationships, confirming the Stoic view that no one is free, who is not master of himself. According to Epictetus, even in seemingly smaller contexts, power can expose someone's essence. Think about having exclusive information, choosing to share it responsibly, or maintain confidentiality when necessary. Demonstrates integrity and respect. In contrast, using such information for gossip, manipulation, or to sabotage others, trust shows a lack of ethical grounding. Ethical grounding. These small, subtle decisions often go unnoticed by the wider world, yet they have a significant impact, reminding us once again that true character emerges in discrete details, not just in grand acts. Compassion in situations of power is another core aspect of character, often illuminated during high-pressure moments. A manager facing a tough decision, who listens to different viewpoints and shows empathy to those affected, displays emotional intelligence and moral clarity. Balancing justice and firmness not only resolves conflicts more effectively, but also inspires respect and loyalty. In the corporate world, where leadership is sometimes mistaken for aggression and coercion, this empathy-centered approach highlights the importance of humanity. In exercising authority when people feel safe, they experience a feeling of control, and this control has a social consequence. Seneca's words resonate here. It is great when you can treat those below you as kindly as those above. Power also appears in personal relationships in less visible, but equally impactful ways. It might show up in a friendship, where one person has more social influence, or in a romantic relationship where one partner makes most decisions. How are those opportunities used? Do they serve to lift others up or to manipulate and impose? A friend who shares resources generously, without expecting anything in return, fosters equality and well-being. Someone who uses what they have to keep control or maintain an advantage causes an unhealthy imbalance. Which kind of person would you feel safer building a long-term bond with? In a disagreement with a partner, the ability to navigate the situation calmly without resorting to emotional blackmail reflects emotional maturity and strength of character. Values essential in modern Stoicism. Power itself is neither good nor bad. It's simply a tool whose value depends on how we use it. Epictetus' reminder that people are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them, leads us to reflect on how we perceive and apply whatever influence we have. When viewed as a responsibility rather than a privilege, power becomes a positive force capable of fostering growth, unity, and alignment with virtue. Once observing how someone handles power not only reveals that person's disposition, but also encourages us to reflect on our own actions and intentions. Authentic character shines precisely in those moments, when our influence greater, small can build up or tear down. Thus, power is more than a test. It's a chance to bring our actions into alignment with the highest ideals. We are pulled when we retreat and react. Those who use power with wisdom, humility, and empathy leave a legacy of trust and inspiration, embodying the best of modern Stoicism. As they navigate both personal and professional relationships, by noting these behaviors and others and striving to act likewise, we gain deeper insight into the nature of character and move closer to a nobler version of ourselves, capable of using power as a tool for growth, harmony, and service. Putting the 5 observations into practice. 1. Evaluating others. Understanding someone's true character isn't about grand, theatrical gestures, but rather those quiet, everyday moments that almost no one notices. Stoic teachings remind us that consistent actions in ordinary situations reveal far more than a single dramatic act. Whether you're observing someone at work, in social settings, or during casual encounters, these patterns can provide profound insights into who the person truly is. Extended exercises can reduce worry to an. So, how can we use these day-to-day moments to assess someone's character? Start by paying attention to how they treat people who can't offer them anything in return. Servers, janitors, or strangers on the street. Those who acknowledge others with gratitude, kindness, or even a smile show respect for humanity. In contrast, those who ignore or mistreat such workers often display arrogance or a lack of empathy. For example, a friend who always thanks the waiter and speaks courteously is likely to be more trustworthy than someone who constantly complains or acts superior. Another way to evaluate character is to watch how a person deals with small inconveniences. Stand with them in a long line, or experience some delay and see what happens. Do they handle it with good humor and remain calm, or do they get irritated and take it out on others? Stoicism teaches that emotional control is a sign of maturity, and those who can stay composed under pressure usually exhibit resilience and self-awareness. Think of the last time you saw someone lose their temper over something minor like slow internet. Would you expect this person to handle bigger challenges calmly? At work, these patterns are even clearer. How does a colleague act in a team setting? Do they give proper credit, communicate respectfully, and help lift the group as a whole? Or do they monopolize conversations and claim achievements that aren't theirs? Those who display humility and generosity are more reliable and self-assured, while those who seek to be the center of attention at others' expense typically reveal insecurity or an oversized ego. Which profile would you rather count on for an important project? In social contexts, there are more clues. A friend who arrives on time for get-togethers, listens actively and truly engages in conversation, shows consideration and reliability. Meanwhile, someone who interrupts constantly, seems distracted or is always late, shows little regard for your time or needs. Repeated patterns highlight priorities and values. 1. Write or do the same behavioral patterns repeatedly over time, or the same characteristics repeated with difficulty. The personal growth. Personal growth is an internal journey of reflection and outward alignment, where understanding others becomes a mirror for our own improvement. The 5 Stoic-inspired principles: how we treat others, handle setbacks, value time, act in private, and use power, aren't just tools for judging others, but also for becoming our best selves. Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Growth begins with the humility to recognize our imperfections and the courage to improve. These principles are timeless, yet surprisingly modern in a world full of distractions and external pressures that often pull us away from our true values. The first step is to examine how you treat people who offer you nothing in return. Are you consistently kind and respectful, no matter who's in front of you? Simple gestures, like thanking a cashier or holding the door for someone, may seem trivial, but they speak volumes about character. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Happiness depends on the quality of our thoughts, and how we treat others reflects the mindset." We nurture hope by making it a habit to treat everyone with dignity. We not only strengthen our relationships, but also our self-esteem because our actions match our principles. Next, notice how you handle daily obstacles like traffic jams or long lines. It's these little tests that gauge our patience and emotional control. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, namely our reactions and perspectives. As Seneca pointed out, if you suffer from something external, it is not this that troubles you, but your judgment of it. By seeing setbacks as opportunities to practice serenity, you become better prepared for bigger challenges. Time management is yet another crucial piece in the personal development puzzle. Do you honor your commitments? Arrive on time and respect other schedules. These actions build trust and show responsibility, indicating that you value not just your own time, but also everyone else's. If this is a weak point for you, setting clear priorities and creating consistent routines can help align your actions with your values. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, emphasizing that time is finite and must be used wisely. Perhaps the most genuine test of character is how we act. When no one is watching, do you remain honest, keep promises, and behave ethically even when it would be easier not to? These unseen choices form the backbone of your public persona and will shape how you respond to major tests in life. Zeno taught that living according to nature and reason requires consistency, reminding us to align our private behavior with our stated values, building a life of authenticity and moral fortitude. Finally, reflect on how you handle power, no matter how small it may be. It could be leadership at work, influence in personal relationships, or privileged knowledge. Do you use it to serve and help or to prove your superiority? True leadership is born of a humble heart, willing to listen and grow. As Seneca said, it is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness. This path requires discipline, empathy, and a strong sense of responsibility. Even small gestures like crediting those who deserve it, or genuinely listening to those under your direction, can have a profound impact on the atmosphere around you. Personal growth is not about achieving perfection, but about evolving steadily. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, be open to the vulnerability of learning. Recognize your weaknesses and work to address them. By applying these observations to yourself, you create a foundation for continuous improvement, where every act of kindness, moment of patience, or choice of honesty brings you closer to your ideal. In modern Stoicism, the goal is to align actions with values, cultivating resilience while letting go of the need for external validation. Every day brings chances to practice kindness, patience, sincerity, and humility. These small decisions shape not only who we are, but also our surrounding environment. By walking this path, we inspire those around us and build a life filled with purpose, integrity, and fulfillment. 3. Leadership. Leadership is not limited to delegating tasks or achieving goals. It's about shaping character, inspiring people, and creating an environment where everyone feels valued and empowered. The Stoic principles of respect, Serenity, time management, integrity, and the wise use of power form the backbone of genuine leadership. A leader's character manifests not only in their achievements, but in the way they treat others, respond to adversity, and maintain values even when no one is watching. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, once said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. This timeless lesson underscores how a leader's inner discipline affects their actions and their influence. An excellent leader sets the tone for the team by showing respect to everyone, regardless of position. Imagine a CEO who, after a company event, personally thanks the cleaning staff. That kind of gratitude and humility creates a climate of mutual respect, encouraging others to do the same. In contrast, a leader who only flatters those above them and ignores those below them sends a negative message about their real priorities. This is particularly true of pastors. With a selfish intention, the pastor can strive to make disciples of his lackers, even though there is little reason for it. The ability to remain calm in the face of difficulties is another sign of exceptional leadership. Every endeavor encounters unexpected challenges, missed deadlines, client rejections, or sudden last-minute problems. A leader who stays composed, focuses on solutions, and motivates the team to persevere brings stability, encouraging creativity and determination. Picture a manager who faces a failed project by reassuring the team, extracting lessons learned, and developing a new plan with everyone. This approach lowers stress and builds trust. A leader who loses control or reacts angrily tends to generate fear and demotivation. Time management, often underrated, is one of the clearest indicators of discipline and respect for others. A chronically late leader who arrives unprepared for meetings and wastes the team's time, say by prolonging discussions unnecessarily, loses credibility. On the other hand, one who honors schedules, keeps agendas concise, and delivers on promises shows responsibility and an appreciation of others' efforts. Imagine a leader who starts meetings promptly, follows the agenda, and provides quick feedback on tasks. Such behavior not only boosts productivity, but also shows team members their time is valued. When leadership appreciates everyone's time, it nurtures a culture of responsibility and punctuality that permeates the organization. Integrity when no one's around is also vital. Employees are keen observers. They notice how a leader behaves, both in public and behind closed doors. A leader who respects confidentiality, acknowledges who actually deserves credit, and maintains ethical boundaries gains respect and loyalty. Conversely, someone who steals ideas from others or crosses ethical lines for personal gain shatters the group's trust. Seneca's saying, "A good character is the only guarantee of everlasting, carefree happiness," reminds us that such leaders gain genuine respect from their peers. Ultimately, how a leader uses power sums up their character. Power can expand or oppress depending on its application. Those who share authority, celebrate achievements, and nurture talent create an environment of creativity and innovation. Imagine a leader who loves to acknowledge the team's achievements and distribute responsibilities in a way that everyone develops new skills. These attitudes build trust and dedication. But a leader who hoards power, stifles the team's progress, or downplays others' successes sows resentment and stagnation. Stoicism teaches us that power amplifies our values or magnifies our internal shortcomings. In Stoic philosophy, leadership is not about imposing authority, but serving others with humility, compassion, and firmness. Leaders who follow these principles create an environment defined by respect, honesty, and collaboration, inspiring everyone to pursue excellence. Take a moment to consider your own behavior. How do you treat people when no one's looking? How do you respond in a crisis? And how do you use your capacity to influence and motivate? Reflecting on these questions and integrating Stoic teachings helps you lead with purpose, leaving a legacy of trust and collective empowerment. Leadership is not merely a title. It's the responsibility of motivating others to be their best, while we strive to be the best versions of ourselves. 4. Personal relationships. Personal relationships form the bedrock of a fulfilling life and reveal much about our priorities and values. How we interact with family, friends, or partners lays bare our character, especially in day-to-day details. In Stoic philosophy, it's the small, repeated acts rather than one-off grand gestures that keep trust and connection alive. Mutual kindness is a basic foundation in any relationship. Think of a couple in which one partner consistently says, thank you when the other cooks or helps with chores. As simple as that sounds, these ongoing expressions of appreciation build an atmosphere of security and affection. Similarly, in friendships, being attentive in everyday moments solidifies reliability and strengthens the bond. How someone treats a waiter, a cashier, or even a stranger on the street also reflects their level of respect and empathy. Would you trust someone who's rude to a server? To be sensitive when you need support? Another important aspect is observing how people handle everyday frustrations. When they're together, things happen. A delayed flight, a lost item, a demanding day at work. Someone who remains calm and good-natured during these incidents shows emotional stability and concern for the other person's well-being. Someone who quickly gets annoyed or withdraws in difficult times might not have the steadiness necessary for bigger challenges. Imagine taking a trip with a friend, and the car breaks down along the way. If one treats it as part of the adventure, and the other can't stop complaining, which person would you prefer to have around in hard times? The question time management also matters a lot in relationships. Those who make sure to spend quality time together, despite busy schedules, show how much they care about that connection. Consider a partner who plans a special date night, or a friend who checks in on you despite a hectic life. These are signs that the relationship genuinely matters to them. On the other hand, someone who frequently cancels plans or always shows up late communicates that your time and possibly the relationship isn't that important to them. High integrity is equally vital for strong bonds. Trust is built on day-to-day honesty and respect. Even behind closed doors, a friend who keeps your secrets, or a partner who follows through on promises, even when it'd be easier not to, demonstrates commitment. Gossiping about a friend or breaking a promise undermines the faith that sustains any relationship. If you told your spouse you'd take care of something crucial and didn't, will you own up to it or just make excuses? Small lapses can shake the fundamental pillars of respect. Power dynamics also emerge in personal life, whether it's social influence in a group of friends or a dominant role in a couple. Do you use that leverage to support and involve the other person, or to manipulate and control? A friend who freely shares resources without expecting anything in return fosters equality and well-being. Another who uses resources to maintain an upper hand creates unhealthy imbalance. So we ask, which kind of relationship makes us feel secure and enriched? Noticing and applying these principles leads to deeper, more genuine connections. Reflect. Are your relationships grounded in kindness, patience, attention to time, integrity, and fairness? These virtues not only strengthen your bonds, but also inspire those around you to reciprocate in kind. Relationships thrive through mutual effort and shared respect. The Stoic secret to understanding and nurturing these bonds is to see behavioral patterns rather than just words, and to strive to embody the values we want to see in others. What kinds of relationships are you cultivating? And what do they say about the person you are becoming? 5. Guiding the next generations. Instilling values and solid principles in the next generation may be the greatest legacy we can leave, ensuring that integrity, resilience, and wisdom endure beyond our own lives. The 5 observations of character. How we treat others, deal with difficulties, value time, act in private, and handle power serve as an age-old compass for shaping young minds. By passing these lessons on, we equip children and teenagers to live with empathy, discipline, and a moral sense aligned with modern Stoicism. As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This captures the essence of leading by example, the cornerstone for teaching values to future generations. The journey starts with demonstrating kindness and fairness, values that build empathy and social awareness. Encourage children to treat everyone with respect, regardless of who they are. Simple habits like saying please and thank you, and helping a classmate who's struggling, or inviting other kids to join in games, are small acts that will foster a culture of compassion over a lifetime. These lessons are most effective when adults practice them. If parents treat store clerks or neighbors with courtesy and attention, kids will absorb those behaviors, seeing that kindness isn't dependent on status or reward, but is a fundamental part of being human. As Seneca pointed out, wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for a kindness. It's a principle children can carry into every interaction. Teaching resilience in the face of small obstacles is just as essential for preparing children for life's bigger trials. Losing a game, facing a delay, or dealing with disappointment are perfect situations to develop patience and adaptability, encouraging a child to find solutions instead of reacting with anger or giving up. Nurtures problem-solving skills and emotional regulation, skills deeply in line with what we can control. Time management and respecting commitments are similarly vital. Showing children the importance of scheduling time for homework, chores, and leisure sets them up for adult discipline. Punctuality and honoring promises demonstrate responsibility and consideration for others. Marcus Aurelius's famous quote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think," underscores the idea that time is short and must be used wisely. A lesson that, if instilled early, shapes a strong sense of priorities. Possibly the most crucial lesson of all is integrity. Doing what's right even when no one's watching forms the moral bedrock children will carry into adulthood. Whether it's returning something that doesn't belong to them, owning up to a mistake, or standing up for someone who's been wronged, these small choices build the developing character, celebrating honesty and responsibility, rather than punishing unintentional errors, reinforces the idea that character is formed through small, daily actions. Well-being is attained little by little, and nevertheless is no little thing. Zeno emphasized, reminding us that these tiny, routine acts sum up to create a life of moral excellence. Teaching children to handle power modestly and fairly also prepares them for leadership roles they may hold later. Power takes many forms: having more toys, being older than siblings, or having social standing in school. Guiding them to use these advantages to include and support others, rather than manipulate or exclude, fosters empathy and trust. As Seneca noted, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor, reminding us that genuine strength lies in being content with what we have, and in serving others. By passing on these principles, we ensure that younger generations develop strong character and face modern challenges with courage and wisdom. The 5 observations offer a reliable map for shaping identity and values, helping our sons and daughters thrive in a world of distractions and pressures. Modern Stoicism, focused on inner strength and ethical conduct, provides a practical guide to teaching young people to live meaningfully. Thus, we leave behind a legacy that reflects the best of our shared humanity. In closing, remember the 5 observations we explored: how people treat others, deal with stress, value time, act in private, and exercise power. These simple yet profound principles are not just for assessing someone else's character. They're also here to guide us toward our own better selves. As Marcus Aurelius advised, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. So take these lessons from Stoicism and apply them day to day. Whether in personal life, in your relationships, or on your leadership journey, how will you use these insights to shape your actions and mindset? I hope you enjoyed the video, and since you made it to the end, write Armored Wisdom in the comments. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. See you soon.